friends, welcome back or welcome to the channel. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. My name is T and this is my channel, Crumpets Tea and Sewing. In today's video, I am going to be sharing with you 3 dresses that I have made for the Little Red Dress Project. Now, this is a challenge that has been going on for several years now. I've participated in the challenge, I think 2 years ago, and I made this beautiful red velvet dress by I think it was Berta pattern. I can't remember the number, but I'll put the image here and you can see what the dress looks like. And that was the first time that I've ever participated, but I believe the challenge has been going on for about 4 or 5 years now, and this is my second time participating. And the host of the challenge is Renata, and she goes by the Twilight Stitcher here on YouTube as well as on Instagram, and I'll put her information down below so you can go over and check her out. So this year I decided to make, I really started out with 2 goals in mind. I wanted to make like a rib knit dress, but that didn't go very well. I dyed the fabric and the fabric turned out horribly. And you'll learn more about that in my 2020 sewing fails. And so when that failed, I decided to just go back to the basics. And the basics to me is cotton. And I love cotton fabrics. They sew up really easily. They never disappoint me. I can always get a really nice, good shirt dress out of them. And so after that sewing fail, after that, well, it wasn't really a sewing fail, more it was just me trying to dye fabric and it didn't go well. So anyway, after having that fail, I decided I'm just going to go back to what I know best. And so I went to Joann Fabrics and I happened to come across this glorious, I mean glorious, yummy, muted red fabric. It's a 100% premium cotton fabric. It's an Indonesian batik fabric, and it is so beautiful. It's so easy to work with. It's just, I don't know what else to say about this fabric. It's a beautiful fabric. I purchased 6 yards of it. It took about 4.5 yards for the dress that I made with the Colette patterns Hawthorn dress pattern, and that's because it's on a 45-inch wide fabric. If it was a 60-inch wide fabric, I probably would only need 2.5 yards, but I ended up using about 4.5 yards of fabric, mostly because I messed up on the, well, I didn't really mess up on the sleeve the first time. I just decided to, instead of going with the cuff and the placket, the view with the cuff and the placket, I decided to omit that and redo a sleeve and include a tab instead. And when I did that, I kind of lost the fabric from that first sleeve pattern. And so that's why it took 4.5 yards. But with the 45-inch wide fabric, it really only took about 4 yards of fabric. So I still have a little over 2 yards of fabric left, and I want to make the Colette patterns Hawthorn top with the peplum top with it, and that's why I got that many yards. I did a mashup of a TNT pattern, and by the way, the Colette patterns Hawthorn dress is a TNT of mine as well. So, but I moved on to the commercial TNT patterns that I love, and that's the B6437 and the B6614. Now I use the bodice portion of the B6437 and the skirt portion out of the B6614, and I believe I have pattern reviews of both of those on my channel as well, so I'll try to sift through all of those videos and put links in this video or in iCards here. But I really love these 2 patterns as well. I know most people really love the big 4, but those See Sew patterns are exceptional. They really are. I really love the easiness of these patterns as well as the style. I decided to use the bodice portion out of the B6437 because it's a little bit more stable, especially if you're using like rayon knits. You have two different neckline variations, and you have bands for your neckline, which gives you more stability on your neckline. And that's one of the reasons why I chose it, because with the B6614 pattern, you don't have a neckline and you're just flipping your fabric inward and then top stitching it down in place. And so with rayon fabric, especially the rayon fabric that I chose, it just would not have been a really great idea for it. And so that's why I decided to just go with the neckband and the bodice out of B6437. Also, the contrast fabric that I use is a black fabric from Joann Fabrics. It is also a rayon fabric. It has a little bit more weight than the red print floral fabric. And so that's why I chose that for the neckband, so that I can have that stability as well. Because the garment is, because the fabric, the red print fabric is so drapey, it's a rayon and it's very, very fluid, very fluid. I made sure to stabilize the shoulder seams as well, because I don't want those to stretch out over time. And then for the skirt portion of the dress, so the bodice portion of the dress, because it is so drapey, and also in various spots, like where the floral detail is, the white floral detail or the cream floral detail, you can see through it a little bit, like once the fabric kind of stretches across the breast or whatever. And that's another reason why I was really particular with where I placed my floral detail as well. As you can see, the floral detail is more on the side of the garment than in the center. And that's because like I said, it can kind of stretch and distort, and then also you can see through it a little bit. But I decided to just, because of that, I decided to line the bodice back and the bodice front, so you can't really see anything through it anyway, because I decided to line it. And I just used the same fabric for the shell of the garment, the floral print for the lining of the garment, because I had a little bit left over. So that's what I decided to do for the bodice. Now for the skirt portion of it, it's not lined, it's just the skirt. Now the skirt, the B6614 skirt, it is a semicircle A-line skirt, and that's why I chose that, because I wanted to, I really didn't want the skirt out of the B6437, because the B6437 pattern, the skirt kind of falls flat at the hips, and I wanted to have just a little bit more body in that area, in the hip area, since I don't have any hips. So that's why I tend to gravitate more towards the A-line skirts. So anyway, that's why I did the mashup. Also, I changed the sleeves of the pattern. The sleeves is a 3/4 sleeve, length sleeve. And as you can see, for the B6437 pattern, you either have a sleeveless option or you have a short sleeve option. There are no other options. So I had to lengthen the pattern to get that 3/4 sleeve option. And I also did a bicep adjustment as well, so that I can have more room for the pattern, or for the dress, in the bicep area. So that's basically all that I did for that garment. Now the last pattern that I use is also another TNT of mine, and I'm thinking about doing a few tutorials with this particular pattern in 2021, because it's just a simple, easy pattern. It's a Berta pattern. It's Berta 6540, and it's a beautiful pattern. It's only 2 pieces, and it has grown on sleeves, or dolman sleeves. And as you can see, I put a band on the end of mine, and I hacked it as well, and I cut the pattern so that so I have a skirt on the pattern as well. So if you can't see, when I was standing up, if you couldn't see, I'll show you here with pictures. But I cut the pattern and I just made all these little adjustments to the pattern to try to, you know, bring different elements into the pattern, like a different style to the pattern. It's a really simple pattern. It's easy for hacking because it only has 2 pattern pieces. You can hack the pattern, the bodice front, where you can have like a top yoke or a middle yoke. You can have like you can, you know, draft the skirt part of it after you cut the pattern into 2 or whatever. It's an amazing pattern, and I really think that beginners will have a field day with this. Just, you know, hacking, you know, learning how to hack and learning how to add or omit things from patterns. And so that's why I really like this pattern, because it's easy to sew and it's easy to hack. And also it's, I feel like it would be a really great pattern to learn how to work with stripes, because like I said, you only have your 2 pieces, your back and your front. And so it would be really easy to learn how to work with stripe fabrics with this. So anyway, again, that's why I like this pattern. So those are the 3 different makes that I made for the Little Red Dress project. I'm so glad that I was able to get all that done. The pattern, the challenge runs from December 18th to January 1st. So as of the date of this video, you still have some time if you want to hurry up and get a project in, or if you've already made a Christmas dress and it's a red Christmas dress, go ahead and submit it. The only thing you have to do is go over on Instagram, go to the Twilight Stitcher Instagram page, and you can send her a private message of your pictures, like the pictures of your garment, and then basically that's all you have to do to submit your garment. So it's a really fun challenge, and I'm glad that, so last year she didn't have it, and she brought it back this year. So I'm really glad that she brought it back, because I really enjoy doing this particular challenge for Christmas and for this time of year. So anyway, that's the video for today. I'm really happy with how everything turned out. You let me know in the comments section below which of these dresses you like the best, and which you think I'll get the most wear out of. I hope you all had a blessed Christmas, and I hope you have a happy new year. And until next time, everyone, stay creative. Bye.